Hi everyone. This is a really sad day. This is a really sad day for the United States of America, losing one of its greatest philanthropists, for the Jewish people, losing one of its greatest sons, for me personally, losing one of my closest, dearest, most cherished friends, and the World Values Network, losing one of its great supporters. Sheldon Adelson was a living legend, a man who redefined philanthropy. What he and his wife, Dr. Miriam Adelson, did on a global scale is first and foremost for medicine, which was their greatest philanthropy. Miriam being a physician, Sheldon wanting to save lives. What they did for global medical philanthropy. And of course what they did for Israel and the Jewish people, Birthright Israel. Every Jewish educational organization you can imagine, every pro-Zionist, pro-Israel organization you can imagine, including the World Values Network, our organization. I was privileged to know Sheldon very personally. I'm really in a state of shock. I wanted to speak from the heart because Sheldon was all about heart. Every time I saw Sheldon, I would kiss him on the cheek and he would kiss me on the cheek. He was that kind of man, amidst being one of the world's great titans of industry. I called him every Shabbat to wish him a Shabbat Shalom. We would talk a little bit about the Parsha. I'd give him a nugget of the Torah. He would always tease me about something. We would talk about American policy. We would talk about Israel policy. We would talk about the state of the Jewish people. We talk about his family, especially. Sheldon loved his family. He was an incredible family man. He adored and cherished his wife, Miriam. He was one of the most romantic husbands I've ever witnessed, and I'm someone who's written many books on marriage, and I've counseled untold numbers of couples. He would sing to Miri. He would always write her beautiful notes. This is decades into their marriage. He loved Miri, worshipped the ground that she walked on, and she deserved it. Miriam Adelson is one of the most special human beings that I've ever met. So many lives that Miri has saved during the coronavirus. People she doesn't even know. Most of these people, the people that the Adelsons always helped, the overwhelming number of people that I've never met. Anyone who saw Sheldon's vision. If you went to the Palazzo, if you went to the Venetian, to see his vision, how he conceived of things, how he understood things, and just the size, the grandiosity. And he was so razor sharp, so smart. We would talk about things, and first of all, his memory, the photographic memory, the recall of events that took place years ago, and the details of those events. And he was such a loving and caring friend. I could call him up and talk to him about all kinds of problems. I could talk to him about personal problems. I just recall now all the special dinners we had at his home. And when Miri established a kosher kitchen in their home in Las Vegas for all their kosher friends. And the sensitivity, the kindness, the goodness, the way Sheldon loved Shabbat, the way he loved his sons. With Matan, with Adam, the way he loved Gary, and of course, the way he loved Sivan and Yasmin, all of his children. Just an extraordinary and extraordinarily devoted father. I don't know what to say to Matan and Adam losing a father at so young an age. I don't know what to say to Yasmin and Sivan, who were around their father constantly, taking care of him, nurturing him. I don't know what to say to Gary. All the love he showed his father and the connection. I don't know what to say. I lost my father this year. Last year now. And I know that I'm still grieving and mourning and saying Kaddish 3 times a day. But I'm telling you also, the Jewish people have lost a great leader and someone who loved them with all his heart. Who was there like Sheldon who would leverage whatever political clout or political influence he had? And it was always spoken about how Sheldon was one of the biggest political contributors. Who, aside from Sheldon, would leverage any clout they had just to protect Israel, protect the Jewish people? His wife Miri's family was annihilated during the Holocaust, losing more than 80 members in Poland. Sheldon wanted to make sure the Jewish people could never be threatened again. He loved the IDF and Israeli soldiers. He loved Israel with all his heart. But he also, of course, loved being an American. He loved the United States of America. The Wounded Warriors Project that he looked after, that he helped to nurture at his hotels in Las Vegas. His patriotism, his love of country, it was unparalleled. I have a shattered, broken heart. God should comfort Miri and the entire Adelson family. God should comfort the Jewish people for losing one of its greatest sons. And God should comfort the United States of America for losing a patriot who really put his country first, was fully engaged in the political process, wanted America to have a very strong moral foreign policy, protecting democracy and human rights in the Middle East. May Sheldon Adelson's memory be a true blessing. Shalom Gedalia ben Sarah. I used to daven for him all the time. Shalom Gedalia ben Sarah. Sheldon, we all miss you. And I know that God is going to bless your family. And the merit of what you did here on earth, becoming one of the greatest Jewish philanthropists in all of Jewish history, will never be forgotten.